It's good that I got a message now on my phone.
That's the first thing they hear.
Hello, cool cats.
That's hilarious. The first thing they hear. It's a good thing I got a message on my phone.
No. Yeah, because now I turned it off, so now it's not going to happen anymore.
Nice. All right. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, I'm fucking horrible at introductions, apparently. So, this is the first session of Demons of Aeminad, our new campaign that I'm going to force you 5 through. Oh, this is gonna go great. All right.
Yep.
Anyway, I mean, I don't really have too many announcements other than that. This is both on Twitch and YouTube because I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how that works. VODs are going to be on YouTube after. Is there anything I'm forgetting?
You can join our Discord.
Right. There is a link
Follow
to the
this
Discord
link.
down below.
Oh.
I love how the two of you are like pointing at completely different locations, even though there's nothing there.
Make it happen, Lars. Make it happen.
I'll try to do some post-production, sure.
Nice.
All right. Anyway, seeing as we don't really have any introductions, I guess we should get started with this campaign, shall we? All right. I made one small thing for this, so that you can see my ugly mug while I'm explaining this.
Ah, lovely.
All right. Ready, everybody?
No.
Yes.
Me neither. Don't worry about it. All right. So, Aeminad. Aeminad is a relatively small continent. In the past, it had people living on it that were happy, that were wealthy. It was a vivid place. The problem is, if it was so without trouble, then we probably wouldn't make a story about it now, would we? Maybe I should start at the beginning. Aeminad had kingdoms, people, kings, queens, knights, armies. Sure, scuffles happened between the different locations, but that was really the worst that would happen. However, the scriptures speak of one fateful day. The day known as the Day of the Red Sky. Because originally the sky turned red. Because we're special like that. If you look at the writings about this that were made by clerics, priests, acolytes, that day started as any other. People woke up, went to their work, maybe fought with their kids, whatever, but at a certain point in time, relatively late in the morning, there was this large quake, as an earthquake. The thing is, it's not a quake as you would expect, for example, if a strong wizard or cleric would all of a sudden start casting high-level magic. It was a quake between dimensions, as if the dimensions themselves were ripping apart from one another. This went on for several minutes. People fell down to the floor, buildings collapsed, even towers and temples that were built to withstand this kind of stuff started showing cracks and tears. Several people ending up under rubble, people not making it. It lasted for several minutes until finally it started to die down a little bit. People were panicked, of course. This is something they had never seen before, but little by little, people started looking into the wreckages, started saving family and friends, even started helping out other unknown people. Bit by bit, everybody started to chip in. Until a couple of hours later, a second event would happen, as a first red dot would appear in the sky. Some people would point at it and say, hey, has that always been there before? Some would answer, probably just us drinking too much. Come on, help. Then a second dot would appear. 2 would become 3, 3 would become 5, 5 would become 10, and it would start increasing to large sizes. At one point, there were as many red dots in the sky as there were stars. And then they started to merge together into these larger fields of red. Bit by bit, the blue that had been in the sky for all this time started to disappear. There were still clouds, there was still a sun, but the sky itself had turned and changed color. People felt anxious. This is not something you see every day. I mean, I hope so. Otherwise, go and see a doctor, seriously. But that was not the thing that would end up tearing people to shreds. That happened once the sky had finally turned completely red. As this event, about 5,300 years ago, was the start of the demonic invasion. It was at this point that the demons started to invade. First, just small clusters taking over settlements, killing random guard patrols. But more and more demons would spread out, nobody knowing where they came from or what they were doing here, except for conquering this world. In the end, no one was able to stand against them. Sure, the people of Aeminad won several battles against them, but there was always more. And at some point, you just run out of troops, and you lose. And that's how Aeminad was conquered. Now, of course, if this entire continent had been taken over by demons, then why the hell are we still talking? It wouldn't really be a story to tell, now would there? There's one exception. A city in the center of the continent. A city known as Relix. So named because it is pretty much the only relic of ancient times that we still have left. Originally, before the Day of the Red Sky, the city of Relix was a mountain. But then certain people, dwarves, gnomes, turtles, humans, started going into it and started carving parts of the mountain. Kind of making their home there at a certain point in time. And then later on, the actual walls of the mountain would start coming down. Pretty much in this current day, you can kind of compare Relix to Minas Tirith. But just the difference is there's no mountain next to it. It used to be a mountain. It's in Relix that the story starts. Because the city itself has stayed mostly clear of the demons. There tend to be attacks every now and again, of course, but not constantly. However, there's always that looming dread over the city. Relix didn't stay safe because it was well protected, although it is, because every single person in that city is carrying a weapon at all times. Even young children are taught from a very young age to at least always carry a pocket knife for their own defense. However, it's always seemed like the demons have kept this one alive just to keep that tiny bit of hope. That tiny chance for the people of Aeminad to survive. Relix is known as the last bastion of Dea, the last location where the humanoid races can survive. The question is, and as this story will hopefully tell at some point, will they survive, or were the demons too strong? So now, let's zoom in a little bit. As I see the dread on my players' faces. Oh, right, you guys can see this guy. Nice. So, the 5 of you are inhabitants of the city of Relix in some way or another. Now, we kind of came to terms with the fact that you've all 5 at a certain point in time been selected to work together. You all have some sort of adventuring background. Doesn't have to be a pure adventurer, but you were just chosen at some point. You 5 are going to work together. Go deal with it. And you got a first little quest. There is this type of demon known as a sewer demon. These like grayish creatures relatively small, hunched over and stuff, tend to work by themselves, but they can be dangerous in the correct circumstances. So usually less experienced adventurers are asked to clear them out. 5 of you were asked to clear them out and successfully did so. We're not going to play through that because probably be a little boring. 5-on-1, it's not that interesting. However, as the 5 of you kind of rise from the sewers, this would be the sewers, the first level, like the bottom level of Relix. You all walk out up into the open street, kind of the body and head of this creature with you, so you can hand it into the proper authorities on the 3rd level. The camera kind of zooms in, if you would like to take the movie version of this, and kind of starts looking at the 5 of you. So my first question is going to be, who's carrying the body?
I'm not doing it.
Me,
Whoever's the strongest, I suppose.
Not me.
All right, who doesn't have a 10 in strength?
I don't.
How big is the body? Is it large or is it?
It's a relatively small creature, so it's not extremely huge.
I know. My mage hand will carry it.
Okay, sure. You just see this like mage hand with like the head of a demon. Sure. Well, walking behind the mage head, well, you're up first then.
God damn it, I knew I
What do the people see?
Yes. You see Jedediah. He's a rather small male, about a 1 meter 60 or 5 feet 3. He's a 45, 50-ish, the first gray hair starting to get through the brown hairs. He's not wearing any armor to speak of, just his long wizard robes, and you can see a small knife and a sling around his waist. And he's holding the sewer rat as far away from him as he can. He was a farmer by trade, so he spent a lot of times on the field. So he has slightly bronze skin and is not strong, but rather sinewy, if I speak that out correctly, which I won't. So that's what's Jedediah looking like.
All right. So you're all walking there with this like demonic head inside of a bluish mage hands floating in front of Jed. So as the 5 of you are walking through the bottom level of Relix, one thing that you always have to be kind of careful for is there is a certain amount of crime around the city, because people know that any day could technically be their last, so why the hell would they work for their shit if they can do it otherwise? So, question number 2. Who's looking around for this kind of stuff?
Suppose that would be me. I'm always looking around everywhere.
All right. So, Liam, what do they see when they look at your character?
They see a wood elf, roughly about 6'3", 6'4", about shoulder length, dark blue hair, long black coat, almost touching the ground. Like sort of neonish purple eyes. Very elaborate longbow, sort of human-ish design, but with some elvish customization to the ends and along the bow. Just pretty much a standard pair of hide leggings, thin but sturdy, and like leather straps woven together underneath the coat to form her main armor, her leather armor, and sort of a bit of a scar just along her neck like that, going along like that, and a very distinct scowl as she's looking around, because she's not really a people person.
All right, cool. So, give me a perception check.
First roll of the day.
Also, just realized I never cleared the chat. Thanks for that, Jed.
Hey, I told you, clear chat.
Trying to remember how I do that. Perception. There you go. 13.
13. You look around a little bit and, you know, making sure that no one tries to do anything to you. But at a certain point in time, you do see like this like group of 2 kids that's like kind of looking in your direction, and then seems to realize that there's 5 of you. There's 2 of them, and you guys have weapons and they do not. So they kind of like just walk off to the other side, ever so slightly fearful of this angry woman that's looking back at them. Regardless, as you keep walking, you know you have to hand in this head of this demon at the 3rd level to the guard's houses, to one of the guard houses there, because this is, you know, work for the city. So, question is, who's leading you towards these houses?
That would probably be me, I think. I don't know, unless someone else wants to.
It's fine by me.
Nope. You committed. Go for it.
All right.
Well, the first thing that you just see is someone very arrogantly walking forward, even though he doesn't really look like much by himself. He's about 1.75 m, or however that much is in... I have this written somewhere, but I don't know where.
5'8"?
I'd say
Something like that,
5'8",
yeah.
5'10", somewhere in that range.
He's kind of skimpy looking, so it's kind of weird why he would be walking up front, but he's just carrying a shield. He has a very pristine looking warhammer that looks like it's literally never been used before onto his back, more as a trophy of, oh, I can use this, more than anything. He has slightly upstanding white hair, very smug look on his face, very nice metal armor with blue, like cobalt-ish robes, like flowing over them, or like almost like a cloak that's also behind him, and just constantly like fiddling with his fingers as his like lightning crackling like constantly around it, as if he can't really keep himself busy, and he's just looking around, mostly just smirking at people like, hey, I did this, you know, this thing, it was all me, no worries. And I confidently walk towards the place that I'm supposed to go.
All right. Easy enough, to be fair. I mean, the city isn't that hard to figure out as long as you've been here for a little bit. So, with that in mind, you walk for a little bit, at which point you would at some point reach kind of the stairs up to the 2nd level of Relix. This is kind of the more defensible level of the city. Pretty much it's been built in such a way that you can always shoot down from the 2nd level onto the 1st level if something were to happen there, since the 1st level itself has more of the slums, you could say, of the city, meaning it's a little less protected. You know, they're the scapegoats that we sacrifice if something happens. Don't tell them that might not go over well. But as you're kind of walking up to the stairs, who's the person that would be telling the guards what's going to go on, or why you're walking through?
I think that would probably be Shiloh in that case. So to describe Shiloh, she's a very tall human woman, like 6 feet tall, and she is decked out in gleaming silver armor, which is inlaid with intricate blue, like almost enameled patterns. On her hip, she carries a very large 2-handed sword, which is so big that she actually has to keep her hand on the pommel to keep the tip from dragging in the ground. And on her back, she carries a halberd, which has the banner of her with her family crest wrapped around it. She's got like blonde, pretty tall hair, and like from a mile away, you can tell that she is a paladin.
All right. Now, guards have, in more than enough cases, seen adventurers walk through. So again, this isn't really the biggest issue to be able to pass into the 2nd level. But, you know, it does help that you have a paladin with you who has a little bit of a how should I say this? Reliable looking face, I guess. Something like that. I don't know. That's up to you to decide. Anyway, as you walk through, you now are in the second level. As I said, second level, there's a lot of guards walking around here. Some of them looking at you. Some of them just, you know, trying to figure out why the hell you people are here. Then seeing this, like, mage hand with a demon head in it kind of floating around. Then, adventurers. Okay, yeah, sure. Although there is a little bit of attention for the creepily bluish mage hand. So, as you're walking through the second level, I think there's one more person. So, who is the last character of our merry band of adventurers?
That will be me. That's Elvakri. And she is a female Kalashtar with grey hair. She wears shiny silver armor with armored heels. And she wears an old necklace on her neck with a small figurine of a ballerina. And yeah, that's my character.
All right. So, that's the 5 of you. In the meantime, I'm going to put up the character portraits in rotating fashion. So, this is the moment where there's a small announcement, because the people who made the character portraits are mentioned down in the description of the Twitch stream and probably the YouTube video. So, check those people out.
Please do.
Anyway, with our crazy group of idiots, you walk through the second level, and then finally you reach the third level of Relix. This being more of a set of living quarters, I guess you could say. Pretty much, you know, there's a lot of houses here. A lot of guards also have a house here as part of their paycheck. You know, you do need to get paid something in order to guard a city that is being invaded by demons. Otherwise, no one wants to do it. But this is kind of the moment you're finally thinking, okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. You know, a couple of hours have passed. It was already a little bit later in the day when you left the sewers. You know, having to have hunted down this creature, having to have spent some time researching it. But you are now finally where you need to be. So, after a little while, you end up seeing this relatively large building, but it seems to not have been kept in the best of states as well. It needs some repairing. There seem to be a couple of cracks between the wood / the stone, because it seems to be partly made of stone, partly made of wood. It's almost as if at one point half the building burnt down and they put a second part next to it. So it's not the best of buildings, but you do recognize it with the large symbol, a large R, where the left leg is kind of a sword, which is the symbol of the Relix army / the Relix guard, which is relatively the same. So as you walk up to this building, this is where you have to deliver it. The door's wide open. You do see that there's people walking and walking out. You know, you're not the only ones who are doing stuff here. So now the fun question: what do you want to do?
I guess we just head straight inside. And,
Yeah.
you know, make way a lot. I'll just make sure that people just head out of the way a little bit.
I mean, the floating demon head is probably a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
That helps.
Pushing
Yes.
Pushing everyone away.
You know,
Ooh,
just
can I
this.
make it a little bit scary, moving and make it make sounds with my thaumaturgy? So people
Sure.
get scared a little?
Sure. All of a sudden, this demon head is just moving around with a blue hand. There's just sound that comes from it. You just see 2 of these guards just ah!
I make a telepathic link with Ryu and say, "Stop doing that. It's scary."
Can I answer telepathically as well, or is that not how it works?
Yeah.
Well, you just hear me just laugh then at you telepathically.
And then I say, I hate you.
You want a bullshit point for that?
There's
Ryu?
enough Ryu for everyone.
Here, Ryu, have a bullshit point.
Hey, we've only
Seeing-
been 5 minutes in, boys. Let's go.
I mean, the more I hand these out, the more fun it gets for you people.
That is true. That is true.
That is
All right. Anyway, as you kind of, get into this building, you do see that there is a relatively, I wouldn't say a relatively large amount of people, but it is kind of filled up. You see the front desk that you can kind of go talk to. There seems to be this angry dwarf behind there. That's currently stamps something, gives it to the first person in line. It's here you go. Also goes under the counter, picks up a small pouch of gold, chucks it to the person, catches it, walks off. To the right, you see 2 guards that are currently carrying this person with blackish armor to one of the cells, but right as they're going to open the cell, this person all of a sudden and tries to swipe at one of them. There's a little bit of a kerfuffle that starts, at which point one of the guards just punches him in the face, knocks him out. And he's like, God damn it. All right, come on, get back in. It's fun in there. Let's put it like that. But as all of that happens, you walk in, kind of wait for a moment, at which point you reach the front desk, and the dwarf just looks at you. All right, what you got?
Well, then the demon head probably just makes a very scary sound again with the thaumaturgy, and as it I don't know, floats towards him a little bit, I guess.
You just see the dwarf look at it, look at you. Very cute. Congratulations, I'm getting myself shitless. God fucking damn it, you adventurers all think you know goddamn best, right? Just takes the head, kind of looks at it. Alright, we'll process this. Just hold on over there for a couple of minutes. Yeah, you'll get your pay in a second. Or in a minute. You know what I fucking mean. Fucking weirdos. You see him put up the head in the back with a couple of other heads that are there. Some a little bit bigger, some exactly the fucking same. It doesn't seem to be the first sewer demon this guy's seen at this point. So you can kind of walk around this area a little bit if you want. There's a couple of people just sitting there. There's a pair of humans, one of which seems to be reading a book to a second person.
Ooh, I want to listen.
Let me think. I think Ryu, you're a half elf, right? Or what are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ryu, Shiloh, and Sakita, the 3 of you would probably kind of understand it. Seeing as one of them seems to be teaching the other person Elvish. Just doing that over there while they're waiting. You see another person which seems to be this Goliath person that's just very angrily tapping his foot to the ground, just waiting until something fucking happens. It's really fun in there. There's a couple of others there, but you can wait around a little bit. What do you want to do?
I do a little walk around the building.
All right.
Inside the building.
It's relatively big. You're not allowed to go everywhere because there's a couple of locations, the cells, if you don't walk into the cells unless you get captured, They also don't appreciate you going behind the front desk if you try to do that. But other than that, you can kind of walk around. You have the waiting room, you have the place where everybody's waiting to give their bounties. You have the place where people are waiting to pick it up, stuff like that. Just
Are there interesting people?
There's one dude that's tied to a chair. Seems to be a criminal, but you see this weird, strange bluish glow underneath his skin that's just throbbing, and he just sits there That's something you haven't seen before.
I'm gonna look.
All right. Do you see what I literally just described to you?
Yeah. Is there he is tied up, right?
Yeah, he's tied
Or-
up. He seems to be someone that they're waiting to process in order to get him into the cells.
Oh, okay. There's nobody else with him.
I mean, there's like, you know, literally like a couple of guards. They're not necessarily next to him, but they're at least like keeping a really close eye on him.
Okay.
Make a history check.
History.
Is there anyone in here who's sort of watching us? Either just like keeping an eye on us like the guards, or just someone else who's just looking at us?
Make a perception check.
It's actually good question. I would like to cast Detect Magic as a ritual. Just
for 10 minutes.
I'm
Okay.
busy for
Sure.
11.
6.
6.
I'm not paying attention.
Not that you notice. For a minute, you actually think that there's like this one large person that's like very much looking at you, and you like look back. At which point you realize it's just like a head that's like hanging there, but it's looking at you very angrily, and it should not mess with you.
It's just a decapitated head.
Yes.
Is there like a person that looks in awe of me or like interested in my constant electricity magic that I'm circling around my hands?
The best that you would get in that is like one person that like at some point like tries to walk past you like right at the moment where a spark shoots off, and he's like, "Oh, God, fuck, ow!" Like this larger dragonborn person, bluish, who just like. And he just like breathes back, and there's like a little bit of electricity that hits you. Not enough to damage you or anything.
Is he like a guard or a military person or something?
Seems to be more of a military person, yeah.
Oh well, don't get fired over that, because that would be a dishonorable discharge.
Wow.
This happens all the time, by the way.
Nice.
Fuck. Well, that's not good. I have a weak spot for puns here. I have a bullshit point. God damn it, I hate you.
Bring him in, boys.
In the meantime, Elvakri, as you're looking at this person, one thing you do notice is this person that you're looking at, so the one that's tied down, seems to, if you like, kind of really closely look, and especially with like your blood hunter senses, you would realize that there's like a very slight aura of demonic magic that comes off of them, which very quickly gives away that this is probably a person that belongs to the Diamonds, who are kind of the underground organization of Relix, and who are very much willing to make deals with demons if it brings them gold, power, or whatever that they want, pretty much. Now, as you are all walking around a little bit, there is one interesting person that all of a sudden walks in. As you're kind of walking and waiting around, you notice how all of a sudden the door kind of opens up again, and you see this like dark bluish colored. I can speak English. This dark bluish colored person that kind of just like walks in. You immediately see like two horns, and you immediately know this is a tiefling. Seems to have like this very dark armor on, wearing like these dark blue pants. Seems to have a like dark cloak that seems to billow the entire time. And just walks in, kind of like very enthusiastically looking around the room. And at a certain point in time, come on, seriously, thank you. Actually, like, I was like saying I re-roll 6s and I roll 2 6s. The one time I roll 6s. Looks around, and at a certain point in time, you know, like locks eyes with Jedediah.
Yeah.
Kind of looks at you. Smile kind of like widens a little bit, and he just like walks up to you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello there. Waiting in line, I'm assuming.
Waiting for a reward, actually.
Ah, funnest part of the job, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. Actually, it is. Aside from the hunt itself.
Well, that depends on who you're asking, of course. Tell me, you're here with a group by any chance?
Yes. With that dude, that woman, and that other person. I am not. Yeah. Those
Yes.
people.
I could
Are
sense that
group
there
is
were.
a loosely worded term here.
Well,
Loosely fitting term.
alliances are very hard to come by. Make sure to keep them intact. Tell me, what's your name again?
My name is Jedediah.
Ah, Mr. Jedediah, do you fancy a game?
Yes. Why not? Pastime.
Perfect. And he picks up a small item from his pouch, and you see that it's a coin. But it's not like any coin you've ever seen. You have the normal gold and platinum coins. This one is special because as you look at one side and he kind of shows you the one side, you see that on that side it's embedded with these very tiny red gems that are completely through it that seem to almost reminiscent kind of the life blood pretty much. And as you look at the center, it reads life. And then he shows you the other side of the coin. And again, there's gems in there, but these are very dark black. And at the center of the coin, it says death. Well, for someone with your great mind, this is probably not the hardest game to figure out. Life, and he shows you the one side, or death, and he shows you the other. Have your pick.
Obviously, I choose life.
Obviously. And you see him just ding, flip the coin, falls back down. You think you're right? Do you
I
think
there's more to your game than you're telling me, so that I'm probably wrong.
Do you think life prevails over death, or do you think death will always beat life?
No. As long as we are here, life will always prevail over death.
Interesting. And he removes his hand, and you actually do see the life side on top of his hand. He
Nice.
throws the coin back into the air and captures it. It seems like you were correct.
Mm-hmm.
Want to go again?
Good answer.
Is my detect magic already cast?
Or
not yet?
I would say at this point you would probably get into the moment where it would start casting. I'm assuming you're kind of continuing the ritual. He's also very interestedly looking at your hands as you're moving them a little bit for the detect magic. He's not stopping you from doing it, so if you want to have it, then sure.
Okay. What do I feel when I put my mind to him, or
You sense absolutely nothing.
Not even on the coin?
Not even on the coin.
Oh, okay.
It's just a very fancy coin.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Life will win again.
Interesting. Just starts messing a little bit with the coin, flips it. Let's see, shall we? And again, reveals it. Again, life is on top. Looks down at it. Interesting that one would keep on choosing life in this world, isn't it? One of the fun things of this game, it gives me a little bit of a sense of people. People that choose life usually have a little bit more hope for the world. People who choose death, well, not as much. Tell me, is there one in your group who you think would choose death over life for this game?
Have I noticed this going on?
You've noticed this going on. You don't. Yeah, you've noticed this.
Question.
I don't know if you're listening in. That's another question, but
No, someone's just walked up to our group and started playing one, so I'm paying attention because I'm suspicious of everyone.
okay.
If I had to gamble, it's her. And I point to Sequida.
Okay. Kind of looks at kind of like follows where you're pointing.
Yeah.
Madam. Life or death?
Hello. Why do you ask?
Honestly, pure interest.
Obviously, I choose life, but in the end, death is an inevitability.
Interesting. You people are very interesting.
What is your name, sir?
Yes.
My name? Honestly, I haven't had one of those in a long time. You can call me the coin maker.
Coin.
The coin maker.
Yes. Regardless. Flips the coin. And you're looking at this and you see the coin kind of, dance around a little bit. At which point he does this and he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Holy shit.
Ah,
Coin maker's just vanished.
okay. You saw
lo-
that too, right? He's not an illusion of my mind.
Wait, did you say Ryu or?
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I
okay,
asked.
sorry, I didn't
I
know.
asked it to Sekuda. Like,
Oh, sorry.
Yes,
you
I
saw
saw him
him?
too.
Yeah, okay. So he's not a element of my imagination.
No, I
Weird.
think I have a feeling that we're going to see more of him.
Yes.
I have
I
a
was
bad
actually
feeling about this.
concentrating on detect magic, but I picked nothing up. So weird.
Like, even...
If I look around, I don't see him anywhere, do I?
Make a
Like
perception
he's
check.
just poofed to the other side of the room.
Yeah, actually, I would like to make a perception. I would
Yeah,
like
go
to
for it.
look.
Make a perception check. Go for it.
Perception. I get a good one this
Perception.
time. No, never mind. Eventually, the dice will show higher than a 9.
You don't see him anywhere, so yeah.
Okay. Is
I'm
there?
I'm just gonna keep my eye out for him. So if I do see him,
I would like to go to the dwarf to ask if the sewer rat sewer demon is already processed.
Right as you're about to do that, actually, you see the dwarf kind of come from behind the counter, and he just has this small bundle with which clearly has coins inside of it, and "Oi, you 5, catch!" and just chucks it at you.
I tried to catch.
Make a dex check. You're about to lose half your money.
Oh, not again.
Shame or fame?
Not already.
16. He just chucks it and is kind of chucking it a jet, but you right as you walk by, just grab it out of the air, no issue.
I say thank you.
No worries. Happy doing business with you. Walks back to the counter. As you look at the bag, you were promised about 100 gold pieces total. So I'm assuming you split that. Of course, I don't know. It's Jonas with money again. Here we go.
Yeah,
don't
do
think
tell
he's
us,
gonna be
are
able
you
to
splitting
hide.
it?
I split it.
Yes, we were promised 100 gold pieces.
Yeah. You're not talking your way out of this one. Sorry, mate.
Damn it.
Nice try, though. You get a bullshit
That is
point for
20
it.
each.
Session 1. Jonas dies because he doesn't want to share gold.
Oh, that would be
I
hilarious,
just
though.
put my boat on fire.
Magic missile.
That would be hilarious, though.
Hey, Vincent's back. Welcome. Hello.
Hey,
There we go.
you are
You
muted.
are muted, Vincent.
Yes.
I'm guessing he had some technical
Yeah.
difficulties.
You're not muted anymore.
Yes. All right. So,
We got gold.
yes, you all get 20 gold pieces. Woo.
We
Yay.
got
You're rich.
gold.
Right? Yeah.
I'm not going any further. Cool.
Okay,
So,
it is time to retire because we're rich. Bye.
Okay, campaign's over. Bye,
Right,
guys.
boys, that's the end of the session. Goodbye.
Longest campaign of all
Good,
time.
good campaign. Good campaign. Well done.
Okay, nice.
That was the D&D
Oh,
campaign. You literally walk into a place, get your gold, and that was it. You didn't even have to kill the thing.
I feel like
Turns
the
out the guy
coin
behind the
maker
counter was the BBEG. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
And patience was the true enemy.
No, what are you doing?
Are there any more quests that are waiting to be solved? Or
At
picked up?
this point, it seems pretty barren in that regard. At least right
Aw.
here. There's other organizations that might have stuff to do, but right here, not really.
What time of day is it?
Excuse me?
About what time of the day is it?
It would be getting like to 6 p.m., something like that.
Let's go drink.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe we can go for a drink, celebrate a little bit.
Celebrate.
Good times, come on. Do. No.
Sakrita, although she doesn't really like people, but I would go, good idea. And then
First
just immediately
round
walks
is
out and tries to look for a pub or an inn or something.
All right. So you kind of walk out of the building. You immediately see like this large set of people that are walking around here, kind of like in the crowd. Who's gonna be looking for a pub? Let's ask that.
I gonna try.
Definitely Sakrita.
Okay. Sakira and Elfakri, both of you make perception checks.
It sounds like me in real life, actually. First thing I
Are
do when I get to a new
there-
place, pub.
Yes. Are there any other mages running around with their hands in the air
Mages.
that I can high five
Um,
and each hand?
the mages are mostly on the 4th level of the city. But there would be like one or two that like, maybe also kind of at your level, quote unquote, let's say. That would be relatively, it would also be looking for jobs here, pretty much, you could almost say.
Okay.
So there's probably like one dude who sees like your mage hand floating. You kind of see like this second mage hand who just like slaps yours down.
Oh, it's a sad world, lads.
I
It's sad,
know. I'm already bullying you. I love it.
Ooh. Okay. Alright, let's get a drink. Sure.
Avakri, you rolled a natural 20. Hey. It's good that you waste that on that. So you kind of look around, and I mean, this is the place where a lot of guards are, have their homes. So there's probably a couple of inns here, and it's relatively easy for you to like spot one not too far ahead. It's like the Sword's Keg.
The what?
The Sword's Keg.
Nice.
However, as you walk in that direction, you all of a sudden notice a figure standing between you and the inn, looking back at you. As again, you see the dark-skinned tiefling standing there. And Sakita kind of misses him for a little bit with a 6. I mean, I'm just saying.
Do I see it?
Yeah, you see this character that's been playing like a game with Jen and Sakita, and I'm assuming you've also like heard most of the conversation. So you see this character kind of standing there, wide grin on his face, kind of just having like his thumb up, and you actually notice the coin is currently flipping through the air.
Oh. I shout out, death.
In before, that's not even the game that they're playing.
I don't care.
Imagine. But you can assume, yeah.
So what are you doing, Elfakri?
I try to make a telepathic link with the creature,
Okay.
Ooh.
and I whisper in his head which game you're playing.
The moment you do that, you see him like raising one of his eyebrows, as if he's recognized what you're doing. Looks back at you, and you see the grin just get wider. At which point the coin falls down, slaps his hands, and you just hear in your mind, "Well, we're about to find out, aren't we?" At which point he reveals the coin. And now you actually notice why the little gems are embedded, because even from this distance, because there is a pretty big distance between you and this guy, you can actually see the dark blackish gems are currently on top, meaning you immediately realize that the death side is this time on top. And he just smiles. Winks. As behind you, you all of a sudden hear this large explosion coming from the building that you just walked out of.
Oh,
Holy shit!
And as you
Okay.
all kind of turn around, there is one very strange thing, which is usually when you hear an explosion, it's fire and destruction that you see. That's not what happened. This building is flash frozen. It is completely embedded in ice. You can actually walk in or see into the door a little bit. You see a couple of guards, some of which are just completely frozen. In a normal stance, they didn't realize what was happening, or just like standing there completely frozen in ice. There's a couple of people who just have like their legs frozen to the ground and are currently like trying to fight their way out. It's an entire goddamn panic right now, as this building has entirely been encased in ice.
And where is the coin master? He's still there?
As you turn back around, he's gone. Again, just disappeared. But as any welcome guest does, he did leave a little present in his place. As you see exactly on the spot where he was standing, you see these 5 kind of smallish red creatures, each of them seemingly having like this burning tail at the back of their bodies, all of them with like these tiny little horns, like and just all 5 of them kind of looking around like, what are we gonna do now? Koch nichts nach,
Right.
Okay.
Magic missile.
All right.
I don't understand shit, but this is where Rose
That's it.
shines.
I immediately draw my knock an arrow
Yes.
Okay.
immediately.
Okay, so Jed, you're just casting magic missile at one of them, or what are you
Oh,
doing?
two dots
Actually,
at
you can
first, and then
roll the damage first and then see how you target, right? Yeah, I mean, nice.
another one. Okay. I'm gonna take a look at. I'm gonna chuck the first 2 at the first creature, and then the third dart at the second creature.
Hold on, it's loading. Give me a second. There you go. All right, so you chuck the first 2 at the first one, and then the third one and the second one. Okay, so you chuck your 3 missiles. This first creature like takes these 2 hits, kind of like backs down a little bit, and looks at you very angrily. He seems to be weakened, but doesn't seem to be entirely dead yet. The second one that you hit takes the same hit, kind of. All 2 of them looking at you very interestedly at this point. Sakita, you wanted to shoot?
Yeah.
All right. Which one are you aiming for? The first one, the second one, or one of the other 3? Because there's 5.
Probably would have aimed for the. Jed got his missiles off before mine, so I probably would have aimed for the first one that I saw it heading for.
Okay.
So the first one.
Okay, cool. Go for it.
I don't want to die yet. Since we went sewer hunting, can I tick off
60.
mage armor?
You can, yeah,
That's
sure.
currently running.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It's fine. 16? 16 hits. So go ahead and roll your damage.
Nice.
5 points of damage. You shoot your arrow and it like lands right in its neck. It's still breathing, but like barely at this point. So what are the other 3 doing?
Ryu's probably like readying up a lightning lure attack to bring one closer
All right,
to
cool.
him. And I'm probably gonna take like a fresh one, like one that's still untouched.
Okay, sure. What is the range on lightning lure at this point?
It is. I should have this. 15 feet radius. I'm not sure if I'm in range for that then, or.
Wait, but that's
Otherwise
the
I'd-
radius Oh wait, it's a 15 feet radius?
Yeah, so it's from myself and then 15 feet radius
Oh,
around it,
okay.
and
Yeah,
that's
no,
where
then they're a little bit
close
too
it is.
far away from you at this point.
Ah.
They're like about 40 feet away from you.
Then I'm gonna cast Chromatic Orb instead. And obviously I'm gonna choose lightning as my element of choice.
Obviously. What does
I
Chromatic Orb
would
do
also
again?
like to move a little bit to the back,
Okay, sure.
like 10 feet
To
behind.
the place that blew up, in other words.
Yeah, just close to the
Okay.
frozen building.
Not saying anything. So what does Chromatic Orb do exactly?
I have to roll an attack and then it does 3d8 lightning damage if it hits. It's a spell attack.
Alright, and a fresh one? Cool, go for it.
I need to plus. Wait, it's with my charisma, so it's 8 plus 6. I'm gonna have to like. I'm just gonna roll it like this and then do plus 6. 17.
17 hits.
Alright, and then that is 3d8.
Yes.
Yeet. Energized and ready
15?
to go. And
You just
then
see...
I lob my.
Sure, you just
Yeah,
see
go.
Ryu like lob this like small orb of lightning energy, hits it at like the third one in the group, just completely evaporates it. It is gone.
Ooh yeah! Give me a booming applause for that one.
Oh god, no.
God help
How about
us.
no?
Nice.
Ryu.
So, Shiloh and Elvakri, the two of you are still
17.
Up
Yeah,
and about.
I'll Shyla goes first. So how far are the creatures?
about 40-ish feet.
40 feet from
Yes.
me. Yeah, I basically run for 30 feet, which is my maximum movement. And oh damn it, can I dash? And reach is only 5 feet, right?
Well, technically, if you would have reach, you could technically, I would say, reach like the second one, I would say.
Yeah, then she like takes her halberd off her back and does this wide swing with her halberd at the at number 2
Alright, go for it.
creatures. So let's do that.
13 hits. Six points of damage? Alright, so
Yeah.
you kind of move in, make one swift strike at this thing. You see this like wound appear in the creature. It's not dead, but also just like the first one, it's very much weakened. Elvakri, you still have an action if you want to.
First of all, I want to activate my my Hemocraft
Alright.
and infuse my crossbow with it,
Alright.
and then shoot.
So you take
One of the
1d4 points of damage? Question
Yeah.
mark? Alright. So
Yeah.
roll that first.
Oh, God.
Take 4 points of damage. Nice.
That's
I don't even have to
gonna
attack
kill
you.
myself.
Yeah, you don't even have to roll DM damage. He's gonna do it himself now.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I shoot one of the. I don't know. Does some
What kind of what
look
element?
very
What element did you put on it?
frozen?
Frozen. Okay, cool. It's just that.
Is
So
someone
you have
very-
the first two, which are like a little bit closer, which are very much weakened, and then you have the back two, which are still at full strength because no one has really attacked them yet.
I'm gonna shoot one of the back two.
Okay, go for it. A fire in the hole.
Fire in the hole. If I find it.
I hope so.
Ooh, nice.
20 hits. Hot dang. And then your D4?
Yeah.
Roll
1d4. He has to make a saving throw first.
No, you just deal the additional damage.
Okay.
Just every single time you hit with your crossbow now, you'll deal the additional D4 cold damage. 3
Okay.
more? Alright. You like shoot your bolt and you see how it like starts to crystallize into ice and it hits like one of the back two and you see how this thing like starts getting really a lot of trouble breathing, but it's still just like barely hanging on to its life at this point. So
Nice.
at this point, you know, because the first round they were kind of like pissing off the people that were around them. At this point, most of the people that are there have like kind of spread out a little bit out of, you know, being scared of these things a little bit. So now I'm going to ask you all to roll initiative.
Yay, the magic word.
Hey.
The magic word.
Hey! Oh,
Nice.
yes.
Okay, not bad.
Oh god.
Ah,
Almost.
I get a good roll on initiative. What is this? I'm not used to having more than a +1.
Shiloh is away from keyboard.
Oops. I need to get used to doing this again, apparently, because it's being very annoying. Alright, cool. Alright, so, with that in mind, Sekita, you're up first.
It's a queen.
Sequita, sorry. Need to get used to this. So you have like these 3 very damaged ones and then one that's still completely fresh.
Oh, can I tell which one's the worst off?
There's 2 of them that are like barely hanging on.
I'll just try and pick one of them off.
Alright, go for it.
Right. 21
hits. Definitely.
for 7 more piercing damage.
7 points of damage. You just like shoot straight through the head, falls down onto the ground, immediately evaporates. It's gone. It's dead. It's very dead.
1.
Nice. There's no dwarf here that you can play against, though, so there is that. All right. That's your turn, then, I'm assuming?
Yep.
All right. Then we get to the creatures.
Vincent, you need to roll initiative
Ah, yes, you do.
because there are 3 more remaining.
Yep, indeed. Rolleth thyest initiative.
Do you have any idea what these creatures are?
Make an Arcana check. Because you do know
Arcana?
they're
Oh.
demons.
Would I have studied them? And
Great on Arcana.
Is
yeah.
that your favorite enemy, by the way? Out of sheer curiosity? Fiends?
What are they?
They're fiends. Or demons.
Yes, fiends. Anything that counts as a fiend. So I think there's multiple. Yeah, fiends are my favorite enemy.
So you'd be able to do this with advantage. Also, I think you get +2 to damage on these things.
Yes.
Do I?
Yes.
Yes.
Favorite enemy, you
Okay.
deal +2 points of damage.
An Orphed Arcana Ranger?
Doesn't.
Oh,
well, okay.
really? No? Isn't that in the... I know it's the base ranger with Natasha's features. I thought that was a thing.
Favorite
I
enemy.
don't
I have advantage on survival checks to track it, as well as checks to recall information about them.
Mm-hmm.
And I learn a language of your choice that is spoken by your favorite enemy, which is why I speak Infernal.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say anything about damage.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
It's in
I
the Unearthed Arcana.
Yeah,
version.
okay. I thought that wasn't a change from the 2. Okay, never mind then.
But
you do get advantage
yeah.
on the in check.
Yeah, this check I do get advantage. Yeah.
Yes.
So 12 then.
12. They are creatures known as flare gremlins. They're small
Flare.
demonic creatures, not really high on the totem pole, but you know they get used as like foot soldiers in case something needs to happen. And that's really it. So these gremlins are kind of just like looking at the 5 of you at this point, kind of sizing everybody up. And one of you walked a little closer, so the one who's like closest to you is gonna take a swipe at Shiloh, just like all of a sudden like takes that, or like kind of widens its claw and just like tries to take a swipe at you. Shiloh, does a 16 hit you?
Yeah, just.
Huh. Good to know. You take 5 points of slashing damage and 3 points of fire damage.
Oh shit.
As you get kind of sliced by this thing, you feel like this burning sensation.
Okay.
And then the other two, which are kind of a little bit further behind, are both going to chuck these like small beads of fire. They've seen that one of you is a mage who chucks magic missiles, so that's number 1. And 2 of you have killed someone. They've seen another mage who just evaporated one of them, so Ryu's going to be number 2.
Okay.
So, Ryu, does a 9 hit you?
No.
I figured. I was hoping, but you know. Jedediah, does a 15 hit you?
I'm gonna use Arcane Deflection.
Right!
When you are hit with an attack or you fail a saving throw, you can use your reaction to get a +2 to your AC.
Alright.
I can't cast cantrips till the end of my turn.
Oh, that's too bad.
End of my next turn.
Yes, indeed. So
Okay.
pretty much, like, you see this one gremlin take a swipe at Shiloh and actually hit, but then you see the 2 behind him, like, kind of like very much looking at this fight, just like chuck their balls. That sounded wrong. Chucking their fire at the 2 of you, just like randomly targeting someone, and just one of them just completely misses. The other one, you kind of have to deflect it, but it doesn't really find purchase. All right. Ryu.
Are the last 3 still standing like clumped near each other, or is one?
Relatively, yeah, pretty much. They haven't really moved as much.
Are they all standing in a 15-foot cube
Yeah,
within
definitely.
each other? Right. I would like to jump up into the sky and cannonball down as I cast Thunder Wave and.
Oh dear, mother of God. Okay, sure.
All right, my shoes are laced up and I'm making a move, and then I just fucking run.
You just see Ryu kind of like with his bad
Oh.
puns run at
And
this
then I
and like
cannonball into the air and I slam down onto the floor as I
sure,
cast Thunder
Superman
Wave.
landing, 8 out of 10.
They all have to make a con save.
Constitution saving throw. All right.
And they
Are you
take-
gonna get Shiloh as well?
hope I
No,
don't.
you can kind of move next to Shiloh and then do it. So
Yeah, I'll not attack Shiloh.
Yeah, preferably not.
preferably not, indeed. So first one rolls a 17 on the save.
Nice. He makes that.
Second one rolls a 17 on his save. These are the
Makes
2
that.
that were very much damaged, so I don't think it matters. This one's the one that matters. So of course I roll an 18 on this.
Well, then they take half damage at least. And that's 5 damage.
5
Total
damage. You do, however, with the like bursting power of this, you do blast 2 of them just completely asunder. So 2 of them die instantly. The other one like takes the hit and like still stands there. Not hangs there, stands there, and like, you know, doesn't feel very well, but you know, is alive. Be it barely.
Can I make an intimidation check, or is that like an action?
You know what? Because you jumped into the air and literally shook the ground, I'll let you make an intimidation check. Sure.
Woo! Okay.
Please fail.
15.
Oh god.
Okay. He kind of looks at this, looks at his like 4 dead friends, is like, Koch nicht, which Sequita.
Can I understand what you're saying?
Yeah, Sequita understands as okay, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Huh.
Please don't kill me.
He's going to run.
Okay. Jedediah.
Yes. I would like to cast Mind Sliver. You need to make an intelligence saving throw.
Wait, you can only cast cantrips until your next turn, right? Or...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a cantrip.
I actually understood as I can't cast cantrips until
Yeah,
my next turn, but
no,
then I
I
realized
heard
that
that.
doesn't make any
Sorry.
sense that you'd be able to cast higher level spells.
Yeah.
In save, right?
Yes.
That is a... Yeah, that's not going to be enough. That is a 6.
It is not enough. So you take 4 psychic damage.
All right.
And in case you need to roll a saving throw, you need to subtract 1d4.
I will go and get my d4.
No, the next time.
No, I know, but I will get my d4 ready in case I need to roll it.
Yes. So that's
Alright.
my turn.
So you kind of just see like Jed do something, at which point this creature just like "Ah!" Very painful. All right, hello.
Is number 2 still alive?
There's literally only one dude alive, and it's not the one that you hit previously.
Is it in range, the one that's alive, or do I need
If
to
you move like 5 feet, it's in range.
Well, yeah. Then I move 5 feet and swing with the halberd.
Go for it.
So
Most lazy paladin alive.
Just like move. It.
Do I need to move?
14 hits.
oh my god,
Nice.
there we go.
10 points of damage. You just like take your halberd over your head, just like immediately decapitated. No wait.
Nice.
Yeah, decapitated. Whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just like falls onto the ground, kind of disintegrates. And we're out of initiative because you killed everything.
Yay.
Are
Nice.
there bodies?
No, they actually, the moment they like fall to the ground, their bodies like kind of flame up and just return to ash, so to speak.
I want to
Can
have
I-
another look to see if I can see the coin maker again. It was coin maker, right?
The coin maker, yes.
Yeah, I want to see if I can
oh,
see him
maker,
anywhere.
not
Something
master.
tells me he'd want to watch all this.
Sure, make a perception check.
Can I, in the meantime, collect some ashes for studying?
You can.
Mm.
22.
Very nice.
22, you look around, he's not here. He's gone. You are 100% sure this person is not anywhere in sight.
Are my 10
not going to
minutes
lose him.
from detect magic still?
Sure.
Okay, I would
Doesn't
like
really-
to go to the frozen palace. The
Okay.
frozen building.
God.
Does it
Well,
give
Power,
off
power,
any
power.
magical vibes?
as that
God
happens,
station.
because we're not done.
Oh,
As
shit.
that happens, like Elvakri starts to kind of collect a little bit of the ashes. Jed, you like start walking a little closer, at which point you do hear a couple of like screams coming from inside. And as you walk a little closer, you do sense this seems to be a very strong source of evocation magic.
Okay.
Do you want to go in or you want to stay out?
I would like to call the party, let them go in, and then go at the fourth person.
Yeah, Raga just bolts
Yes.
inside.
Okay.
Yeah, follow.
You bolt
people in.
inside. At this point, as you kind of like bolt inside, this is a relatively slippery ground, so this would be like considered difficult terrain, so to speak. However, what you see is you actually see how like a couple of guards have gotten themselves free, and like 2 of them are currently like facing off against 3 of these like pretty much the best way to describe them is like these like tiny snowmen, but like completely made of ice. They're just like standing there and kind of like trying to slice at these guards.
What? Snowman?
Yeah, they're snowman demons.
The first one that's gonna sing the Frozen
I-
song is gonna
I-
get a whack.
I totally did not do this because I wanted you people to kill Olaf or anything, but you know, details.
Hi, I'm Olaf. I like to wear boots.
Are they close enough together that burning hands would hit them?
Yes, but at that point you would also hit the guards.
Huh.
Collateral damage.
Can I shoot an arrow?
Sure,
Yes.
want to. Your right is still up, so you can also still do that.
I know.
Can I try to cast the Mind Sliver cantrip? Or
Sure.
are we going in initiative again?
No,
Or
at this
do we
point
have
they're
a
still
surprise round?
kind of like distracted by these guards. So if you want to like take your shots, go for it. 22 hits.
Are they actual, like, stereotypical snowmen with, like, stick arms?
It looks like that at first sight. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't actually be made of wood. They would actually be like this, like very thin, burnt flesh almost. Like kind of bacon, sort of, you could say.
Bacon?
Bacon.
Bacon, sort of. But other than that, they are like, although it wouldn't be snowmen, it would be icemen technically, because, you know, they'd be made of ice rather than snow. But other than that, yeah, pretty much.
Is it Mr. Freeze?
No, because there's 3 of them. So let me see. Hold up.
How far away from them are we?
At this point, about 20 feet.
I know.
Yeah, can I walk like 5 feet closer and get another attempt at a lightning lure to pull one closer?
You can definitely do that, yes.
Alright. Whoever the snowman that I'm hitting. Otherwise, can I hit for the one that has the mind sliver against him?
Yeah, sure.
Or hasn't happened yet.
Or it
What was
has
the
happened, yeah.
intelligence save, right?
Yes.
That is a 3.
Nope. You take 5 points of psychic damage.
Was that on the one that Avakri hit, by the way?
Yes, why not?
Okay.
Alright, and then I would cast my lightning lure as have like a little lasso that I'm making
Okay.
up and then throw
Or
it
is he
towards the
dead
one
already
closer.
with 15 damage?
First of all, it wouldn't be 15 damage. It would be 14 damage because it seems like the
Because
ice
cold
isn't as
damage.
effective on this one.
Blah, blah, blah. Would he be dead with 14 damage?
He would not.
Okay. Lightning lure away.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna pull
Lure
him.
the lightning.
Well, he needs to make a strength save first.
Oh,
Otherwise,
strength save.
Otherwise it doesn't do anything.
Definitely do that. That is a 11.
He fails.
Nice.
So that is 1d8, if I'm correct. Yes, 1d8 lightning damage. It's a 2.
2.
And he is pulled up to 10 feet towards me. If
Now
still
he's
alive.
dead.
Ah,
'Cause-
Yay.
yeah.
So I just joink his head off with the.
So you just
electric
like
lasso.
lure and just like this one demon just like cracks into pieces as you like do that. There's still 2 of them left.
I want to. Again, I'm gonna like snook another arrow and shoot
All right.
the furthest one away from
Alright.
us.
Is good.
But just beforehand, I'm
Mhm.
going to cast Zephyr Strike.
All right. Which does
So-
what exactly?
Until the end of this turn, my movement speed is now 65 feet.
All right.
I'm not going to use that part of it though, but I can now give myself advantage on this next attack, which I'm going to do.
All right.
And so I can now
And you deal an
no.
additional 1d8 force damage. Holy
and
shit.
additional 1d8 force damage. And because of my feat elven accuracy, I have double advantage, so I can roll 3 dice.
Oh dear
Nice.
mother of gods!
It only occurs on attacks that I have advantage on, which is why I like giving myself on-demand advantage.
Yes. Ow!
I'm just going to do. I'll just do 3 rolls.
Yeah, go for it.
20
Come on.
crit fishing.
Yeah.
Crit
Pretty
fish,
much.
elven
Let me do it, thank
accuracy.
Well,
Okay, 20.
But it's a crit
20. I mean
fish.
that hits. That still hits.
God darn it. Wait, no. Hang on, it used up 3 lots of ammo in the thing. There we go.
Arrows. Yes.
Yeah.
That would be
okay,
pretty
1d8 thingy. So that's
And
11
another
damage, and then 1d8 force damage. So that's another 4, so 15 damage.
15. He's
But
dead.
11 piercing, 4 force.
He's dead.
nice.
Very, very dead.
And that was the furthest one away from us.
All right.
Sannivar,
Nice.
Melee.
So
I've
that
got
leaves
people
one
who
of them
go
that's
fast.
still like kind of fighting. That like now notices his buddy just dying next to him. Just like looks up and like tries to run away. Shiloh, you technically still have a turn if you want.
How far is it away from me?
About 20 feet.
Let me see. Can I get it with spell?
You can, surely you could. Oh no, it's difficult terrain, isn't it?
It is difficult terrain, yes, but you have 5 feet reach, so
Yeah, so
still makes it actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it and then just swing my halberd again.
Go for it.
'Cause they seem to be pushovers.
5 feet reach, damn.
Noise.
Hits.
Nice.
Very nice.
Hot damn.
Ah, there.
6 points, kind of like, just like again, make your attack. It damages it like it cracks the outside of this creature a little bit. Nice hit. At which point this thing is gonna try to piss the fuck off. Which I think means Ryu and Shiloh are within melee of it technically.
Alright.
So the two of you
Okay.
can make attacks of opportunity while this thing tries to piss off.
I will. I will use my Warhammer for the first time in my life, probably.
Alright, 12
Does-
misses though.
No.
I'm gonna hit is a different question. I haven't used this weapon in a long time. What can I say?
Well done.
Very nicely done. You both kind of try to like attack it as it like runs away. Seems to get like a little bit of speed from the ice, since you know it is an ice demon, and just like runs away at this
Can
point.
I-
But it is gone. So
Okay.
what do you want to do?
So all the guards, they're just sort of frozen on the spot.
There's like a couple of guards that are completely just frozen over, and you don't know if that means they're dead or alive. There's a couple that are still kind of like stuck to the floor, and then there's a couple that are like dead because they were attacked by these creatures, and a couple that were fighting them.
So there are some that are alive and sort of flailing, but frozen to the floor.
Yes.
Can I go to the closest one and attempt to try and break him out, like smash
Sure.
the ice off of his foot?
Sure. So just like actually like attack it, or what do you want to do?
I just want to get him out. So I would assume that I'd put my bow away, pull out one of my short swords, and then just start hacking away at the ice to try and free him.
Sure, make an attack with your short sword. Just to see like how quickly you can get this undone. 13. I mean, like the moment he notices you showing up with the short sword and kind of like looking towards his legs, he just let you do it, and it's not that hard to do it, so you can kind of easily just like start breaking through.
Nice.
Yeah, works perfectly fine to break him out.
I'll try and break out the other guy.
How many were there?
There's a
You're in
couple of
this
them,
state.
like, you know, this place was relatively filled up, so like if you want to like start taking your time to like clear everybody out, it's gonna take a couple of minutes at least.
Yeah, I'd start with the people that are just frozen to the ground, easier to get out.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna take like a
'cause it can act quickly.
python and my hammer and like chip away at the things with the python,
All right.
and try and explain to the people that saw me with my hammer. You know, I don't really use this hammer a lot because just like lightning, I just never strike the same place twice.
For God's sake, Ryu, please do shut up.
What? And stop making these jokes? Ha! I couldn't even if I tried.
If you
Are
fried,
there any
really?
that are-
One day
Are
I will
there any
kill
that
you.
are completely engulfed in ice that are like hard to pick out or take out?
Wait, can you say that
Actually-
again? Yellen?
Are there
Yeah.
any entombed guards there that are like too difficult to get out by hand or by manual force?
I mean, there's the ones that are completely frozen over. Those are pretty difficult to just get out.
Could I make a check to see if burning hands would like get them out but not roasted to pieces?
I mean, they would probably survive, and they would take some damage in the process. The big question is really, are they dead on the inside of this thing? Like, did the freezing kill them, or did it just, like, petrify them, so to speak?
Is there any way that I could see
a
that
medicine
from
check.
the outside?
Can I help him with that?
Sure.
Like how thick is the layer of ice in between the maybe dead bodies or things?
Yeah, how thick is the layer? Yeah.
A 20 total.
With a 20 total, like, you see about an inch of ice, I would say. So it's pretty thick. With a 20, you can see that the people that are, like, completely entombed, that they are just dead.
Oh, shit. Okay.
F.
No need to get them out then.
But you know, in the next couple of minutes, you do start like cutting people out. So who's helping with cutting people out? That would be Ryu and Sequita?
Yeah, with the hammer and the
I've been
python.
doing it as well.
Okay.
I'm keeping guard.
Okay, the others make perception checks for me. Shiloh, make a perception
Bad
check.
rolls.
Perception.
Sad rolls.
Perception.
Perception.
Vincent?
Perception, 3. Oh, come on. Perception. Which is like -1, so that'll work. I mean,
13? Okay. So between the two 13s, I mean, it's not that difficult of a check. It's just mostly like how long does it take you? But as you start, like, you know, as you hear the people being cut out bit by bit, you do realize that this is not the only place that was attacked. Because you start hearing screams coming both from the lower level, the higher level, and the level that you are currently still on. It seems, although this is not like a concentrated attack on one place, there seems to be something going on in the city at this point.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay,
Obviously, I don't
higher
know
up
this,
is
I'm just cutting
normally
people out.
more important, right?
Well, for you especially, it is probably more important because in the 4th level you have the mages, and you have like some magical
Okay.
defenses for the city itself. Then again, the lower level would be like the wall around the city, would be like the the main
Okay.
defensive structure of the city. Level itself would
Okay.
be if, you know, you want to start killing soldiers and start killing the army itself, then you're probably better to kill off the 3rd level. So
Let's head down, I guess, the main defense,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
see
have
what
we-
we
have we
come
finished
up
freeing all
against.
the people
Let's-
we can?
I mean, I
this
feel
point,
like I feel like that this is an inside job, right? Because I mean, if everything in all this layers have been hit, I feel like it's not necessarily going to be
Yes.
the walls that are going to be attacked.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then head to the most important part of the city.
all right,
I'd say
cool.
whichever one's the closest, because people
Yeah.
are people. Doesn't matter who
In
we
terms
save.
of distance, I mean, you can't really gauge the distance at this point because, you know, it's just screams all around almost.
Yeah, whichever the first direction we hear screams from, that's the one I suggest.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yes,
I'll follow.
the humanitarian mission.
Okay. So then I'm just gonna roll at that point. Okay. The loudest screams at this point that you would hear would be from down, would be a level down.
I start heading in that direction.
All right.
Yep, I follow.
So you kind of go back through the path that you kind of used to get over here specifically. And as you move, you start hearing more and more of these like screams of people panicking. You start hearing like small explosions. Who's leading this trek? I'm assuming at least Sequita. Who else?
Yeah, I would have gone the second I heard the direction. Just bolted.
So like, who are the two that are kind of like leading this?
I guess I follow next to Sakita. And
Okay. So
Go forward.
either both of you can make a perception check, or one of you can do it with advantage.
how you want to do this?
I have +4 to perception.
I have
Take the advantage.
+5.
I don't know. Whoa.
So in that case, I would say you do it with advantage.
Actually, that's a good question. How do I have +5? Hold on. Oh right, yeah. Okay.
+3 to
Never
wisdom,
mind.
+2 from
Yeah.
perception, I assume.
Okay. Then I will go with advantage. That is persuasion. That's perception.
21 then.
That is nature.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
add a +5 to that, I guess.
So
I don't know where-
21 exactly.
21.
All right.
Pretty sure I rolled perception, but okay.
As you're kind of running to the bottom part, or like back down to the second level, all of a sudden, you notice that while you're looking around, there's like people that are like all of a sudden look up into the sky and kind of like start going into alleyways, kind of slightly panicking, as you see two of these demons that are kind of like flying over, like these like relatively like red/silver kind of demons that are just flying over. And you see like how in between, like their hands are like below their bodies, and in between their hands, I should probably do it like this, you see these like small fireballs that are starting to form. And the moment they like fly over you, you notice that they're getting ready to drop it.
I shoot.
There are flying creatures.
Yes.
Yeah, well, same old, same old.
Like how high up into the air?
At this point, it would be about 60 feet.
I think that's the max range of my.
What's the range?
No,
of
never
it?
mind. That's not even close to my normal range. It's 150.
I figured.
Yes.
Longbow? 60?
Yeah.
No.
I'm thinking of something else.
Exactly.
And there's two of them.
There's
flying,
two
right?
of them that are currently just like flying over.
Okay.
60 feet is just within the range for another mind sliver,
Alright.
which I'm gonna cast at the left.
I shoot an arrow.
Alright. At the left one or the right one?
Shoot closest.
The closest.
They would both be relatively similar in distance at this point.
Otherwise, I would like to cast Guiding Bolt at one of them first before they shoot an arrow, so they have advantage on it, maybe.
Okay, sure.
Ooh,
Left or right?
I would assume you just like wait a second and then do it. So I'd wait.
Alright.
Yeah. I'll
Wait.
take the left. I'll take the left one and just
Yeah, I'll
Guiding
hit.
Bolt up into the sky.
Alright. Go for it.
Obviously, I'd go for whichever one he hits.
And that is
But I'll wait for him to do the thing. But...
that way. +6. I'm just gonna roll it like this. +6. Ooh, that's a 9.
9. You just chuck.
points.
You-
Bullshit points.
Alright.
Actually, I do have a buttload of bullshit points.
Yep.
Yeah, you
but
Also, it's a +5, not a +6, because it's Guiding Bolt, so it's my wisdom instead. So that's an 8, and I'll use 3 bullshit points to increase my chances here.
With a d8. Hot damn.
Come on.
So
is
that's 13?
13.
13.
13
yeah.
hits?
Oh, Pog, thank fuck. Okay. And that is 46. Nice.
Yes.
Yeet.
noise.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
17. You like shoot this guiding bolt into the air. It hits the dude like right in the stomach, right as he's about to drop this like fire bolt thingy. At which point he just completely vanishes. He's gone.
Okay, we shoot the
Woo!
other one.
Alright, well Valkyrie, make your
Yeah,
shot.
as well.
And Sequita, make your shot. Attack it!
18.
Never mind.
I mean, you try. It fails. So Valkyrie, you can roll your damage though.
I wouldn't have used Zephyr Strike for this.
9.
9. However, one thing that you do realize as you hit it with the ice arrow is that this thing seems to be vulnerable to ice.
Damn it!
No,
So
vulnerable
Oh,
damage.
vulnerable is
is double damage. So the
Oh,
ice damage is
nice.
doubled. So you just shoot your arrow. You like see Sequita's arrow kind of like shoots at it and kind of forces it to go off course, but in going off course, it like lands right in the trajectory of your bolt, shoots it through the stomach, falls down. It's gone.
Nice.
Great.
So it-
separate also.
So with that, you can just keep walking, keep going if you want to.
I'd be a, sort of like at least a jog. I wouldn't be walking.
All right, cool.
Mm.
So, at this point, especially with the previously roll 21, it's easy enough for you guys to like start going in the direction of where you start hearing the most sounds. Every now and again, you see like a couple of burned carcasses. You see like ash, which seem to be remains from demons. You see these like cracked pieces of ice. So you're assuming that there's also these like frost demons again. However, it only gets interesting once you get to like this large open space. The first thing you see is two very large figures, both of them large. One of them seems to be this like white and blue kind of like very cold looking demon. Seems to look kind of like a troll to an extent. Seems to have his like two fists raised up into the air, and it's like shouting at the secondary figure, which is this large like more red purplish demon who stands there with a sword completely made of fire, who's like looking back at it and is just smiling like
Is it a fire sword?
Yep, sword conjured of fire that it seems to have in its hand. And the two of them are kind of just like looking at one another kind of very angrily, at which point you see this like one like this battalion of like 3 guards that like runs at it. You just see these both of them like look down, look at each other, take like a couple of attacks at them, and all 3 of these guys just go sliding dead.
Oh, shit.
At which point you see these two kind of like starting to talk to one another. Sequita, you're the only one who can speak Infernal, right?
I do speak Infernal, yes.
Is there anyone else that can speak it? Just out of sheer curiosity.
Nope.
Nope.
And Yella just realized what the most important language in this campaign might just be.
Actually, how many languages do you know?
Comprehend languages.
I know 5 languages.
Me too.
Nice. You all know
Luckily,
all
I
of these
know.
languages.
I've forgotten what the other 4 are.
I'm not saying that the
I can
other
do-
languages are useless, by the
I
way.
can
I'm just
speak
saying.
Abyssal, Celestial, Common, Elvish, and Infernal.
Damn.
So, Sequita, in Infernal, you hear the kind of frosty-looking demon hear this one say, "I will destroy you in the name of Mordred." At which point the other one is like, "You can try, but you'll never succeed." You do realize that the two of them don't seem to be on friendly terms.
Can I? Oh, they speak Infernal,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
No. Do they speak Common? Do I know that?
They're not speaking Common right now. You don't know if they speak Common.
I would relay this to the group, so they don't seem to be friendly.
Let them do. Let them do.
If we wanted to kill them, may I suggest that we attempt to team up with one of them and then kill that one afterwards?
I want to try.
I do speak their
that-
language; they will understand me.
I want to
Let
try.
them kill each other first. And then we deal with
So
the
like
thing.
the only in I would have is like if I was to do that, it'd be like for Mordred and shoot the other one. If I was to do that.
Can I make a telepathic link with one of the 2 demons?
Oh
You
shit.
can
If you
cer-
get within 20 feet, I guess.
It's wait. It has a range of 60 feet, I guess.
Just gonna have like an open space so I can kind of map this out a little bit.
I'm staying the
If it
fuck away,
loads.
just so you know.
No, really? I did not. I didn't think that for some weird reason. I thought you were gonna be like up close, like, come on, come on.
It is.
Hello.
It didn't say. The number of feet of you equal to 10 times your level, so that will be 20 feet.
So I mean, do you want to try to get into 20 feet with these 2 things?
Can I do that stealthily?
You can certainly try.
An attempt can be made.
There goes Elvakri.
Am I gonna get a kill in the first session?
I'm gonna try that.
Well, that's it.
Okay.
Please work out. Please work out.
How big is this large open space that we're in?
Look at the map.
Absolutely fucking massive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it would
but-
be a little smaller. So I think the actual thing would be like kind of a square
to
of
side.
about I would say 80 feet to 80 feet, something like that.
So
And
it's
they're
80
like
feet,
about
80
in the
feet wide,
mid-
8 feet long.
Yeah, something like that. But it would be more like technically it'd be more of a circle.
And they're in the middle.
Yes, exactly. So how about I do this? That might be the easiest way to show it. So like kind of like this sort of.
Okay.
Huh.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. And then I'm going to put these things on there, if it will let me.
Right,
So that circle is the area we are in.
Pretty much, yeah. Oh, whoops.
Ooh,
For some weird reason, it made it small.
icy and fiery.
Because I'm very original with my names.
I see and
Yes.
pass.
I see what you did there.
Hey! Please die in a hole.
No, Summer did that.
That is very true.
Different campaign.
That is
But-
very true.
Saved it.
Flare Captain.
Icy warrior and flare captain.
So I'm just gonna put you on the map. You can kind of put yourself wherever you want.
And who is who? Do we know that?
The flare captain happens to be the red one, and the icy dude happens to be the cold one for some weird reason. I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with it.
I don't know. I don't know.
Did we have time to spend the hit die?
Nope. You did not.
No, we did not. Okay,
Do you have time to spend your healy ability? What's it called?
In Infernal, I'm going to yell
Okay.
for Mordred and shoot the flame captain,
Okay,
flare captain.
go for it.
Okay, so we are
There goes
committing
the
to
plan.
this?
I mean, it's
Apparently
two
so.
giant ass demons, and if one of them thinks I'm on his side, it makes it easier. Why not?
Yes.
If that grounds work for me, thank you.
Okay, I want to shout the other name and cast
So
Burning
25.
Hand.
There was no other name, by the way. It was just one of them, the cold one said Mordred, and the other one just said, you can try. 25 hits, by the way. Just, you know,
Nice.
totally
Would we
barely
be-
and stuff.
Like, are we aware of the two entities that are in war? Mordred and...
I
Um,
briefly told you
You
just
would,
before I
Yeah.
did this.
yeah, you would know the name Mordred as a very powerful demonic entity that is very much part of the war. That is actually one of the two sides of the war. So yeah, you would be.
Would
able
we
to
know the name of the other side of the war?
Make a history check.
Would I know it from reading it in the war history books?
Make a history check with advantage.
Very nice.
History. Yeet.
I didn't even bother thinking about all this. I just heard that that's a way of making this easier to get rid of two of them and just shot.
Really? Yala? Really?
So like,
Wow.
Meanwhile, I have a
Don't
plus
you?
2 and I get a 19.
like, you know, like you're thinking about it. It's like on the tip of your tongue. You're thinking about it. At which point, Ryu is the one who shouts it out. Yeah, but the so you have Mordred, Demon Lord of Death and Undeath, and you have Ariana, Demon Matron of Passion, Love, and Betrayal.
Who is the other one?
Ariana.
Ariana, Demon Matron of
Yeah, so
Spell
I,
that?
Passion, Love, and Betrayal.
yeah, so I kind of just say that to Jedediah as like,
How do you spell
Ariana.
Ariana?
Arianna. I'll put it in the chat. Actually, I can do that too.
Oh yes, Mordred and Ariana. God damn it. Yes,
Love
tip
and
of my
betrayal.
tongue, really. For Mordred.
So it was 8 points of damage to
Pariah!
the flare cat. All right, nice. The moment you unleash an arrow at one of them, by the way, you also all of a sudden notice this flying creature coming from one of the buildings, also shooting an arrow. This one goes into the other one, actually. As you see this...
Did the one who was talking about Mordred hear me? Because I yelled it for Mordred.
I'm about to... I will roll for that in a second. Wow, misses that with a really low roll. Holy shit. So, like, an arrow gets shot at the other one, just misses. So, at this point, Sequita, make a deception check.
Yay, I was hoping you weren't going to make me use my charisma, which it totally isn't a -1.
I mean, to be fair, they don't have a lot of insight either, so, you know.
I'm not a charismatic person. I don't like people.
Yes.
That's not my problem.
It's not 17.
For a very uncharismatic person, you roll a damn nice deception check. Gotta be honest.
It is persuasion, but yeah.
So the moment you shout out like, "For Mordred!" you just, it would be a little more feminine, I guess, but whatever. Yeah, whatever.
It would be an infernal, yeah.
Yes, that too. You see this like frosty demon just like, yeah, what that one said. I like you. I'll kill you last.
that really doesn't seem like a kindness, to be fair.
Yes.
I mean, he won't attack me until everyone else is gone, so it's an advantage.
All right.
Your infernal is top notch, actually.
I say thank you, but accidentally an infernal.
So at that point, you can all roll initiative.
Hey, let's go. I have no more spell slots because I didn't expect there to be 17 fucking combat scenarios in a row.
I didn't use
Oh
That's
my
why
God.
I give you 17 different combat scenarios in a row.
Oh, there we go. There's my normal
I am
initiative roll.
somehow
Yes.
last.
6.
Wow, you people are great at initiative.
I was good last time. I rolled an
Yeah,
18.
same.
Yeah, nice. Good job. So, Mr. I'm going to hide behind the wall and try not to get seen by these things. You're up first.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking to.
So, yeah, I'm gonna. Oh my God, why me? I would like to attack the flare captain
All right.
with a mind sliver,
All right.
and it is a creature that I can see within range, so I pop out of the wall.
Out of the wall, just like,
Yeah.
hi.
Like Homer Simpson, I come out of the wall, cast mind sliver,
Rolls an 18.
18, okay,
Yes.
and subtract back behind the corner I played.
Oh.
Yes.
Doesn't even notice that like there's like the sliver of his mind that gets attacked.
Whew.
It's too busy trying to kill the other one. All right, so I'm assuming that's Jed. So then
Yes.
we go to the frosty one, who is very riled up because apparently humans agree with him. So he is gonna make 2 attacks at this point against the flare captain. Which is a 19 to hit and a 27 to hit.
Holy fuck.
That misses both.
Yeah, both of those miss. Who's next? Wow, that's low damage though. So you kind of see this like demon just like just make like 2 swipes at this thing, and every single time when one of these like fists impacts, you actually notice how there's like this small explosion of ice that also like follows it and kind of like encapsulates this demon. I can speak English. So wow, that's better. decent amount of damage that I am
Nice.
not going to specify. At which point you again see this flying creature kind of like moving in, and you actually notice now as it comes a little closer and kind of takes an arrow. You actually notice that this is an Arakakra.
What?
It flew off of one of the buildings, a bird person.
Bird person.
Exactly. Back in the Rick and Morty. So it kind of like
Person
jumps off
betrayed
of the building. Wings, out, has a little bit of flying speed. I'm gonna say Sequita and Jed. Sequita, I'll ask in a second. Jed, make a history check.
Okay. With pleasure.
Actually, with advantage for it doesn't really matter.
That's
Pretty
fine.
much made it. Yeah, sure. You very quickly realize that this Arakakra that kind of jumps down has a kind of, how do I say this? Like a very fancy version of a symbol on their chests that actually has the symbol of a wall on it, which you immediately recognize as the symbol of the Misserii.
Okay.
What did I miss?
You missed the fact that you were allowed to do a history check. As an Arakakra has just entered the fray and is starting to shoot arrows at this would be at the frosty one.
For shits and giggles, what would I roll? 80.
Nice.
You also recognize the symbol of the Misserii. Guardians
It's
of the
an
Wall.
ally.
Symbol of the Misserii.
It's
Yes.
Guardians of the Wall.
What does it look like?
It's like kind of, it's actually a symbol of just a wall, pretty much, with like these kantelen. What's that in English?
Huh. Good question.
Elements?
Like you have like a tower, like the top rectangle thingies.
The battlements?
Yeah, I know what you mean. No, the battlements is actually just where you stand. It's the
Yeah.
top of the wall. I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah, completely spacing forward.
I've forgotten what it's called.
Those things. It's almost actually the best way to compare it is like to like the rook in the symbol of a rook in chess. Like you can
Yeah.
kind of compare it to that, but a little bit thicker because it's a wall.
Yes, of the spelling.
Yes. So rolls a. What did I just roll? I don't remember. Rolled enough to hit this time. And is gonna deal some degree of damage to this thing. 14 points of damage, and then second attack misses. Wow, I'm rolling really low on this thing, on this guy.
So it attacks the ice.
It's attacking the Frost's version.
Yes, twice.
Yes.
Oh,
indeed.
2 turns in a row. Okay.
Yep. So at this point, Elvakri, it's your turn.
Right. I shoot an arrow to the flare captain.
All right, go for it.
I'm all out of spells.
Natural 20.
Natural twin.
Nice.
Yeah, that hits. By the way.
Okay.
Okay, nice.
So 10
All right, and then roll
Okay.
2d4s for your cold damage. I'm assuming.
to the force.
Yeah,
Also.
because that also gets doubled.
Noise.
God damn. Another 6 points of damage.
13 points of damage to the fire dude. Nice.
16 because the cold damage is double.
No,
he
normally
rolled
it'll be
2d4s.
1d4, but you rolled 2.
Yeah, because of the crit.
No, it's only 1d4, but he rolled 2d4s.
But is he vulnerable as well?
No, he's not.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
This
damn
one
it.
is- This one.
I thought
Poo.
that-
This one's a little stronger. Like the minions are vulnerable to it, but the like more high level
Okay.
dudes can take
It's
it.
not.
Okay.
All right.
Alright.
I have fallen off the table.
How does he look?
Looks pretty banged up already. Actually, took a really big hits from these guys, from this dude. So yeah, Sequita.
Yeah, okay. Hang on. I'll have to hold my mic here. My mic arm fell off the side of my desk.
Whoops, that's not a good thing.
I'm just going to hold it for a minute. Right. I am going to once again shoot at the flare captain.
All right.
I'm trying to keep up my deception at least for now.
All right. That's good.
No, I don't want to roll a deception check game. Yeah, so I'm going to shoot him again. 19.
Hits.
Nice.
Noise.
And he gets hit for 12 damage. 12 piercing damage.
Nice. All right. Kind of takes the arrow in the shoulder. This is getting really annoying.
When we entered this area, did we come through like a street into
Yes.
like this big circular area? Right,
Yeah,
okay.
indeed.
I want to try and sort of move back into that
All right. Cool.
area.
Sure.
So, fucking hell, so 5, 10... I'll assume it's like about there.
Yeah, something like that.
15, 20, 25. I'll just be here.
I was too lazy to make a
So
full
I
map
can
for
still
this.
see everything that's going on.
All right. Cool. Cool. So that would be your turn,
Maybe
and
not
then it
quite
is
that
the
far, but there we go.
Flare Captain's turn, who like kind of looks around, is like, "You're all very friendly. I'm gonna kill all of you." And is gonna make 2 attacks against the frosty fangs of. I was looking for another words with an F, but I can't find one, so I'll just say Doom. That's cocked. That is a 27 to hit. And that is another 27 to hit.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Against who?
Against Frosty.
Okay.
Great.
That would be X amount of damage.
Uh-huh.
I need to
Interesting.
quickly check the damage for a sec. Oh yeah, no, it's correct. Kind of like with like with this fire sword, kind of like hits. Okay, deals like a decent amount of damage. I mean, Frosty takes damage from it. Doesn't seem as heavily wounded from these attacks. Seems wounded, but that's about it. The biggest thing you notice is that now all of a sudden, like the Frost's demon seems to be like on fire.
Ooh. Noise.
All right, Arayu, what are you doing?
Right. I'm gonna have to walk a little bit closer, sadly enough, because
Yes. Come closer to me.
5,
Come a
10,
little bit closer, you might.
20, 25, 30, sure. And then I'm going to cast Lightning Lure at the Flare Captain and try
Alright.
and pull it closer. I
Strength
need
save?
to make a yes, strength save.
I will make a strength save. That's a 9.
Well, he fails that, so he gets pulled 10 feet closer towards me. And that means he's in 5 feet range of me, which means he takes 1d8 damage.
Nice.
Yeet. 4 lightning damage.
4 points of lightning damage. All right.
As I pull him closer and give him the good old scorpion, get over here! And
Get over here. Just like right as the frost demon is about to like hit him again, he just like oh, good. You deal with him.
Oh boy. And I think that's all I can do, honestly.
All right.
Yeah, that's all I can do. I brace for impact.
Cool. Shiloh.
All right.
Shallow.
So,
Sorry. No idea where that was coming from.
so the flare captain would be closest. So 5, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yay!
Perfect.
And under that, I will cast Divine Favor, so it empowers me for 1 minute, giving me an extra d4 radiant damage on hit.
All right. Is that a bonus action?
I think it is. Yes,
it is.
Divine
Alright.
Favor, 1 bonus action itself.
Nice.
So I will, and this time, you know, because the halberd was sheathed back again, she'll actually take her greatsword out
All right.
for more up close and personal combat.
Go for it. Oh!
Noise,
damn.
noise.
So what was it? Double roll, right?
Yeah, and
The
do you want
double
to
dice roll.
put smite into this?
You'll have to do my. Oh wait, it
That
automatically.
is.
Whoops. I forgot it automatically does it.
Just re-roll the 4d6 then, I guess. For easy's
Yeah,
sake.
because
That was weird.
46.
All right, so 14
11.
from the greatsword.
Okay.
Then the
and
d4,
then-
so that also becomes 2d4 from the divine favor.
Oh wow.
2 ones.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Noise.
And
better
then,
enough.
do you want to put smite into it? Also gets doubled.
Yeah, I can smite it. So technically, I could divine smite it.
Yes, you can.
Extra damage is 2d8 for level 1 spell slot. So that would
Yeah.
use both my spell slots, but fuck
But
it.
Also,
just-
does it do extra damage to
that's
fiends
what I
or
was
dead or something?
wondering.
does.
Because extra damage, the damage increases by 1d8 if the target is an undead or a fiend. And this is very
Whoa.
much a fiend.
So you get to roll.
So you get to roll 4 more d8s.
Oh wow.
This is
Oh
gonna...
wow. 16, 20, 22, 36.
One more.
Oh,
Shit.
No, wait. 2 more.
68.
Yeah, it's because you have 3d8 and all 3 of those you get to re-roll.
Oh yeah.
Right, I had 3d8 that I can roll.
Yeah, you had 2d8 from the normal smite, then an additional d8 because it's a fiend, and then all 3 of those get doubled to 68, so you have 2 more d8s.
Because you crit,
Oh,
so you
wow,
could
yeah, fair.
re-roll those 3d8.
So
Yeah.
14 plus 2
There you go,
plus 20.
14 slashing.
Plus-
It's 40.
Holy
Fucking
shit!
Level 2, 40 damage in 1 hit. Yeah.
So, Shiloh, what is this creature's fate?
I think he just like blows up with divine
He
energy.
creates a fucking black hole. That's what he does.
Yeah, clearly.
And this, ladies and
No,
gentlemen,
actually,
is how
no,
a
it's a
star
white
is born.
That's divine.
Yeah, that was session 1. I think if Sam's watching this, he's probably you know,
Rooting for the paladin.
yeah, probably. So yeah, you just like attack this flare captain with your 1 attack. You do take 1 point of fire damage because it does have a heated body.
Oh no. Anyway.
I rolled a 1. It's hilarious.
Jeremy.
But at that point, even though it was a heated body, now it is because it has become so hot that it just explodes.
Just goes kablooey.
So nice.
As I see that happen, Raru just looks at Shiloh. Hey, you're stealing my thunder.
Still only counts as 1.
That's because she's the lightning.
Wow.
Alright.
Wow.
Wow.
Back to
Wow.
the top. Jedediah.
I hold my mind sliver until I see that the icy warrior is hostile to us.
Okay. Sure.
Or until, hostile to us. So if he attacks one of us or something,
Alright. Good.
mind sliver.
At that point, it is the Icy Warrior's turn who, like, looks behind. Nice! And, like, nice! I'll kill you 5 last. Starts running at the Aarakocra in this case. Because that one shot him a couple of times.
So he is hostile.
Yeah.
He is, but he's not attacking us yet.
So, it's your call. Do you want to do it or not?
Yeah, then I want to cast a mind sliver because in my experience, the wall defenders, the Miseria,
Mm-hmm.
are honest people.
That is
And
a
worthy of
5
defending.
on the save.
It's how much?
5.
3,
4,
you take
7,
1
8.
point of psychic damage.
1 point. Nice. Right, so then the Icy Warrior is going to take 2 swipes at this.
I think with that, he probably just thought he had a
Hombre.
headache or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Uh,
He's gonna make 2
Ow.
attacks. 18 to hits. And natural 20.
Noise.
Uh-oh. Not noise.
Ah, I
It's
mean,
against-
not noise, sorry.
What are you rooting for, people?
So that is a whole lot of damage. And then the crit. Ooh. I like the way this is going.
Is
I
Lars
just
giving
like that
himself a
sound.
how do I want to do this?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you just see this like captain just like take 2 swipes at this Aarakocra. Once gets like thrown to the side, like looks back up. You're not gonna get me. At which point, just like throws him to the side. Seems to fall down, not lifeless, but very weak at this point.
Not
AKA
dead.
unconscious.
Ah, there goes your introductionary NPC.
Wait,
Oh,
this
he had a,
thing-
he had a
this
name and
is-
everything, poor guy.
Yes,
Is
he had
this
his
thing
name.
alive or not?
Yeah, he's alive.
Barely.
Not for long.
Gonna make a death save. Makes it. A Valkyrie.
Oh shit.
Shit. So, does anyone attacked already the icy
I did.
warrior? Did you?
Mhm.
Only Jed has done it yet so far.
Okay. I gonna move a little bit closer.
Yes, come a little closer. Come a little closer, baby.
Uh,
No.
how far am I now?
35, 35 feet, something like that.
Okay. Then I shoot another arrow
Go for it.
against the
Shoot him in the face.
Richa.
Shoot him in the face. Or not.
Bullshit points, 2.
Okay, sure, go for it. Spend them bullshit points.
Oh.
Oh.
14?
14.
Ah, misses.
Oh,
Damn it.
Shame.
Who did you shoot at? The Frosty the Snowman?
Yeah, Frosty
Yeah.
the Snowman. Yes, exactly. That's his
No, he
nickname? Really? That's what we're going with? Frosty the fucking Snowman? Really?
To be fair,
I'm
you're the
very-
one who kept calling him Frosty to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you are
Yeah.
correct.
And I actually got confused really much with like the letters and the color scheme because the I one I thought was like igneous because it's red, so I thought it was the fire one, and then the frost one was
Yeah.
like green.
Yeah.
No wait, the fire one was green, but you know an F for frost, so I got them switched around.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. That's weird. Alright, so that's your turn, Valkyrie?
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
I
sorry.
have a bonus action.
Do you?
No. Go on.
Okay.
I mean,
Sequita.
technically, yes, you do have a bonus action, but it's whether you can do anything during it.
Yeah. True.
Sequita, what you want to do?
That
what you gonna do when it
thing, whatever creature it was, you said I knew what it was, but do we know that do we think it's hostile to us? Do I think it's hostile to us? Or just to that?
As far as you know, this is a demonic entity that has shouted at you that it will kill you last.
No, not Frosty.
Oh,
The thing it just battered into oblivion.
oh, the Aarakocra? No, that's definitely a friend. That is one of the Misserii. The Misserii are a organization that are responsible for defending the wall around Relix.
Right. Okay. Because obviously it's red on the map, so it might be hostile.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case,
That's for stat purposes because I don't know if faction reveals anything that you shouldn't be able to see.
okay.
He doesn't want me looking at the combat track.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. In that case, I am going to. How far away am I? Oh, I'm definitely in range. I'm torn between 2 things, but no, I'll just shoot Frosty
Okay, go for it.
from here. I don't need to move.
Nope, you do not, because you have way too much range.
Ooh, thank
That
fuck.
was
That
almost,
hits.
That was so close to being
almost a
one.
one.
That very much hits.
For 7 piercing damage.
7 piercing. All right.
Yep, and then I will move after the fact.
Okay.
I'll move as far as I can. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. No, I won't. I'll move 20. I'll make sure there's someone in front of me at least. And I will stay here.
meat shield. Meat shield. I need a meat shield.
Just double check something.
No,
Meat shield?
other
Meat face.
campaign. Meat face.
Different campaign, boys.
I will stay here.
Alrighty then. Then we go to Ryo.
Right, well, Ryer's is gonna sprint forwards again to the next guy. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and I will cast Lightning Lure again and see if I can pull him
Alright.
towards me.
Cool.
I think it's Alvakri that's putting arrows at my character, but it's my character.
Alright, so he needs to make a strength save.
Strength save. That would be a 11.
He fails that, so he gets pulled 10 feet towards me, and since he's in range, I get to deal 1d8 damage.
Yes, you do.
He takes 6 lightning damage
Nice.
as I zap him around the legs and pull him towards me.
At this point, he's like, don't like you that much anymore. You die next.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Alrighty then. That's your turn.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like look at him very smugly, like, come on, give me the best you got.
Okay. Shallow.
Okay.
Might regret that, but
5.
Might.
Yeah, I can reach that easily. And then I will just use my greatsword. I shall use a
11.
bullshit point
Okay.
because that misses.
you're gonna need to roll a 4, I think.
At least. He rolled
What was that?
3.
3 misses.
Yeah, well,
14 misses.
Yes.
It is what it is.
Alright.
Shame.
yep, that's it.
Shame. Shame.
Ding, ding, ding. Shame.
Back to the top. Jedediah.
Yeah.
Who's making
I
these
would
cones
like
on the map?
Yeah, I would like to, it's me. I would like to
Oh.
move a little bit
Checking.
closer.
Mhm.
That's 30 feet and cast another Mind Sliver.
Alright.
So
Does he get a
intelligence
minus D4
save.
on this now?
no, because he. Oh yes, he. Yes,
Until when is it? Until the end of
his
your next turn? Or
it's
is it?
the end of my next turn.
Yeah, so he gets a minus D4 on this. Natural 20.
Okay.
-4.
Yeah, but is the
Yeah,
D
minus 4. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter on saves. At least not in
Yep.
my campaigns.
Can I do a reverse bullshit point system?
That is not a thing, no. Nice try.
No,
Not
because
yet.
I mean, good try.
it's because with a bullshit point and acting as Bane and my Mind Sliver, it's 2d4. So natural 20. You
Would have dropped it to a 16.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Let's just do it your way, okay?
Okay, cool. So it's the demon's turn, who is now a little bit more interested in this fucker that just electrified him.
That
It's
might have been me.
electrifying.
Hi, Ryu. How you
He's the
doing?
one that-
25 to hit.
How much?
25.
Yeah, I think that hits.
You're the one that kills. You are the one, boy.
You take
Surprise.
8 points of bludgeoning damage and 9 points of cold damage.
Wait, so how much is that?
17.
17.
Can I make my reaction before I get downed, or is another thing?
Yes.
No.
You can.
Wait.
Right. I would like him to make a dexterity saving throw from my, what is it called? Wrath of the Storm.
Dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, he needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
What does that do?
That is a 10.
He fails that, so the creature takes 2d8 lightning damage, and yeah, because I can use my reaction for that, so he takes 2d8.
Is that like when you get damaged by something, you can do
Yeah,
that?
wow, yeah. Well, when it says when, alright, let me just read this before. When
It sounds like hellish rebuke.
when a creature within 5 feet of you that you can see hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to cause the creature to make a dexterity saving throw. Yada yada yada. It takes damage or half as much on success. I can use this a number amount of times equal to the yada yada.
Nice.
Well,
But you're unconscious?
yeah. So you can just see me get smacked, and then I just turn around to my party and they're like, Ryu out, and I just fucking fall flat on my back.
All right.
And you can see, you just about hear Sequita right at the last second to see this and go, oh, thank God.
And then second attack. It's not going to be against Ryu. It's going to be against Shiloh at this point. Which is a 11 to hit. I'm assuming that misses.
Nope. Try again.
I don't think that would
Doesn't
hit
miss.
anyone.
Right. Yeah, that's a fail.
Shit.
Elvakri, what you gonna do?
I'm gonna shoot another arrow.
All right, go for it. Kill him dead. Or not, or miss him. That's also a possibility. By all means, keep going. That's your turn.
Yeah.
All right. Sequita, you've just seen Ryu being like smashed unconscious.
And I'm assuming the other dude, he's made 2 death saves, right?
Yep.
And we don't know if he's failed or succeeded.
Succeeded one, failed one.
God damn it. And I know
Who's
this
rolling
guy.
death saves?
I know this guy is a guardian of the wall,
Yep, indeed.
The
so I know
guardian
he's
of the-
important.
Yes.
I just need to double check something before I do something. No, don't open File Explorer. Thank you.
Lars, with
You-
the attacks of the fire warrior,
Mm-hmm.
the fire dude, did we see that the icy warrior was resistant to the fire damage?
He was not resistant to the fire damage, no.
All right. Okay. I
Nor vulnerable.
can't do that. Damn it! I had a plan, but then I realized it doesn't work. Okay.
I love those plans.
That tends to happen.
Yeah.
Yes, welcome to the party.
Welcome to the jungle.
In which case, I am going to, as a bonus action, use Zephyr Strike.
Alright. So you get your triple advantage again?
And then just for fun, I'm going to move over here.
Okay. Alright, you have
I-
65 feet of movement now.
I have 65 feet of movement, so I don't know how far that was, but I'm pretty sure that was within.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Easy.
Fine.
And then I am going to fire at Frosty the Snowman. Double advantage.
Sure.
I just need to remember how many. Okay, I've got 3 there. Right.
Pew pew pew.
And so that's a 20.
Let's go, crit
No,
fishing.
Third one would have been.
Okay.
But it still hits.
Those, only 1. So, first of all, the normal damage is 7 points of piercing damage, as well as an extra 2 points of force damage.
Alright. It's looking really hurt. It's still there. Alright.
My
Ryu.
original plan was I was going to use Zephyr Strike, run straight past the thing, and because Zephyr Strike, with that movement, I don't get opportunity struck. I was going to run straight past him and cure wounds on the dude, but that was my last spell slot.
Yeah, you could have also used a medicine check, to be fair. Ryu,
Oh,
make a
that
death
was-
save for me.
Right then. Let me just instantly roll a natural one. and
Please
make you
don't.
regret
Yeah,
it.
please don't die in the first session. Of
No,
this.
Meatface
I would
gives
hate
you
to-
energy. That's it.
Can I guidance myself? Probably not.
You
Can
cannot.
cast can you use bullshit points?
Shit.
You can.
I ran out of
I don't
bullshit points.
think it's gonna
So that
Yes.
is my first fail. Help.
Luckily, it's only it's
Cool.
a 2. It's
Shiloh,
fine.
it's your turn.
Oh.
Hey.
Hey. Oh.
Yeah, well, the only thing I can do because I use my spell slots is great sword attack. So here we go, great sword attack. Oh my
Oh, come on.
God.
That was a 19. Well,
Right.
okay.
That's it.
Jed.
Okay, so I would like to position myself like here and cast Burning Hands.
Boiling hands. Alright.
If
That is a
cast-
2.
Nice, so that's 3d6 fire damage.
Mm-hmm.
That's very nice.
Noise.
Oh god damn it.
6.
Okay. What is this creature's fate?
Yay! Pog. I'm Pog.
He
I'm dead on the floor.
because I'm only like a low level wizard. I cast my Burning Hands, which makes his like one leg melt a little. He loses his balance, falls over, and hits his head really hard on the rock.
Okay.
And that's how his skull
Wow.
crashes out.
Okay.
Shatters his skull by hitting a rock. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't care. He
I
shattered.
don't care.
I'd take just flat out evaporating over there.
Alright. At which point it's technically the Mysterious turn.
It's a 1. He's dead.
No, it's a natural 20.
Hey,
He's up.
He's
Yay,
Oh,
that's someone
no,
who-
no.
That's what I rolled a natural 12. Of course it is. Of course.
Oh no, it makes sense just because his icon has M. M for meat face.
Hey!
Hey.
Yeah, is anyone gonna do something about Ryu, or are you just gonna let him
Yeah, I'm
die?
kind of,
Can I do a medicine check?
Yeah,
I
sure.
want
Can I
to knock
help?
another arrow.
I'm going to lay on hands him for 5 HP.
Okay.
Oh,
No,
yes.
I want to fire an arrow directed, not fatal, but directed squarely at his vocal cords.
What do you mean? Not like lethal? How's that not lethal?
Yes.
How are you
No,
gonna?
it won't be lethal. It'll just be the fact that you won't be able to
Let
talk
me take my
anymore.
dagger.
And my sanity
Oh.
levels stay up.
Just take your dagger and cut his vocal cords.
Sure. That's not happening.
I mean, out of character, I fucking love what he's doing, but in the character, I fucking hate it.
Oh god. I'll give you a bullshit
alright.
point for that. Anyway. With that, you now realize that while you've been fighting this creature, that the screams and all of the pain and suffering has kind of started dying down a little bit. As this Arakocra kind of gets up, very difficultly, seemingly still very close to death, kind of looks at you. Wow! Nicely done! Like, coughs up a little bit of blood.
I would suggest next time you stay away.
Can't really do that, not if I'm trying to protect the wall. Anyway,
Maybe
Nice
get a
job.
bit more training first. But well done for surviving, I suppose.
you know what? How about next time you take the brunt of the assault, then we'll see who talks.
He means
Yeah, I can speak of that.
thank you for your sacrifice and for your servant.
I also thank Shiloh for healing me. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yes. Well done
Yeah.
for healing. Yay.
He's back.
Right. But anyway,
I do not fear death, only mediocrity.
But anyway, with that, we're going to end the first session.
But alive!
As you survived the demonic attack.
Yes.
I went down on the first session. Let's go.
Yay!
Good job. Good
I
job.
didn't have a bard, so I just needed to take the guy who's been playing bard in my campaign for so long. That's how that works, right? So,
I'm never playing bard game.
Anyway, next week we will continue this little conversation with the Masserii, and we will see what we will do then. But for now, we are going to cut the session here. Good job, guys. Well done.
Hey.
Anyway,
Alright.
everybody who's still
You did
watching,
good.
I hope you enjoyed, and see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.